Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and we have a fun show for you today because I have a special guest host this morning, my Auntie Sharon. Welcome to The Good Life, Auntie Sharon. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
She will be here with us today because we are about to bring in October, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we are going to really dive into her story for the last segment of the show, which will be about around 9:40. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But the first segment today, we're going to talk about how important it is to start walking. You know, we're all on this wellness journey. Dr. Griggs and I are, doing this half marathon in January and February. He wrote me into two of them. He's trying to get me to do a full marathon, but that is not happening. We have Bashan's Jordan in the studio with us from Tiger Rock Bashan's. You know we are not doing the full marathon.
I'm not doing it.
Exactly. Look, a half marathon is
enough.
quite enough.
Yes.
But I will say there is something that we're going to be doing on Saturday, October 10th. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of New Orleans will be having their walk. So I will be /jogging, trying to get through the whole thing and, work my way up to this half marathon. So I will be with my Auntie Sharon out there for a 5K. And actually, I won't be by myself. We have a whole group of WBOK walkers, joggers, skippers, trippers that will be out there on Saturday, October 10th, making sure that we join the American Cancer Society for their 5K walk to raise awareness and funds to end breast cancer. So, Auntie Sharon, welcome to The Good Life. We're so excited to have you here. And can you give us a little bit of information about this walk?
Well, it's a non-competitive walk. And
What?
Non-competitive.
Oh, fine.
So
Okay,
you can walk, stroll your children, whatever. And the other thing about this walk is there's no registration fee. Like other walks. You just show up. But we do ask you to get pledges from your friends and family. Just ask them for any type of donation, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, $1 million.
Right.
That will really
$5 million.
That would really help wipe out breast cancer.
Bill
But
Gates, we're calling you.
It's at Champion Square, and registration is at 7. The walk begins at 8. And again, all you have to do is show up, or you can go online to register.
Show up and show out. So we're going to kind of just give you a little bit of information about how important it is to walk. Because according to the Mayo Clinic, regular brisk walking can help you maintain a healthy weight, boost your mood, improve your coordination and balance, strengthen your bones, among the many other host of benefits. Movement and exercise can have a significant positive impact on a person's mental and physical health. And we're really getting into the mental and physical health today because that'll be our second segment, mental health, because we know Doc Griggs really needs that segment. So, as Attention
You
Online...
see what I walk into?
Exactly. As Attention Online magazine reported earlier this month, the health community typically encourages people to walk 10,000 steps per day, which is about 5 miles. So a stroll in the park might be just as relaxing and amazing as it sounds. So that's why we're all going to get out there on Saturday, October 10th. We're going to make strides against breast cancer, and we're going to all live the good life, and we're going to do this 5K. That Griggs, we're doing this. We've been talking the talk. Now we're literally going to be walking the walk on October 10th because the WBOK family will be out there with our pink shirts, our pink WBOK shirts on, and we're going to get it done.
Yeah, this is going to be a big event. Your auntie and Miss Sharon and I have worked together with the American Cancer Society for how many years now?
I can't count.
Yeah.
Can't count that high.
She's too young, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's why I let her do the counting. Great event, breast cancer awareness. This is our month. We spend a lot of time together this month speaking, talking. I hope she brought a poem.
I thought the poem was for your show.
Well,
you're going to let Eileen share our poem?
Yeah, you can let it.
Well, she's going to have the last segment, so we're really going to fully jump into, breast cancer, and, I kind of want to roll it into October with that. We were kind of talking about walking and how important walking is, to our minds and our bodies. You got to get your mind right, and sometimes just getting out in nature really does make the difference.
So it's funny you should ask it. I posted, 9 articles this morning about
Did you?
walking
Great
versus
mind.
biking. I woke up with it on my mind. The best exercise is the one that you're going to do. Be it walking, biking,
Right.
be it whatever. The easiest one, though, is walking. A lot of people, we emulate athletes when we decide we're going to get in shape. We're going to go to the gym, we're going to lift weights, we're going to flip tires, we're going to do all that stuff. But what people don't realize is that's what they're doing for their job. They have to push on large people and try to take their heads off as a profession. When I was in college and playing football, we had to push on large people and avoid getting slaughtered. For most people, for the average American, the physical requirements of your job are to sit down,
Right.
and to get up and walk down the hall. So if you
Exactly.
start viewing it walking as an exercise where you're training to be more efficient at your job, which you will be because you'll increase your oxygenation, you'll increase your mood, you'll increase your productivity, you'll regulate your appetite. All this sounds like really easy and fun stuff that can be done by simply going out and taking a walk.
Exactly. And here's the deal. I know you're going to love this. You like stats.
I like
Researchers estimate that it takes roughly 2,000 steps to reach a mile, right?
Mhm.
But unfortunately, the average American only walks about half the recommended amount of the 10,000 steps. So last year, the average American took about 59 on average steps a day. Now 5,900.
Oh. Yo, okay.
Oh, y'all, I'm sorry.
59. Step back.
Y'all thought I couldn't
What
add.
Americans was that study done? All right.
5,900.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. In comparison to many other nations, we are, way behind, because they have, with Americans taking over, a little bit over 5,000 steps. Australia was taking nearly 9,700 steps. The average person in Switzerland was taking 9,600 steps.
Mhm.
And the average person in Japan was taking 7,100 steps. So we are behind the game in a couple different areas, and steps is one of them. So come on, y'all. Let's live the good life. Let's open our minds to living differently in the world. And just taking those couple of steps during lunch, getting out during lunch and walking, it will change your mood. It will change your frame of mind. It will change your life, literally. We don't realize how just taking that little bit of time can really,
So of course you
change things.
You took me there, right? So
I know I took you there, which is why
with my
I
numbers.
prompted
So
you. I prompted you.
I posted one of my posts is this is your body on walking. This is from Prevention Magazine. 2 hours of walking a week can reduce your risk of stroke by 30%.
Hello.
Your memory, 40 minutes 3 times a week protects the brain, the region of the brain associated with planning and memory, your hippocampus. Your mood, 30 minutes of walking a day can reduce symptoms of depression by 36%. And since you painted a picture of us being such underachievers, we are actually overachievers with our underachievement when it comes to diabetes.
See?
Logging 3,500 steps a day lowers your risk of diabetes by 29%.
What?
Longevity, 75 minutes a week of brisk walking can add almost 2 years to your life if you're able around, I guess.
Just think about your grandchildren.
Exactly.
Don't you want to be here?
Wait,
Uh-oh. This is my favorite part.
but wait for it. No. A daily hour walk can cut your risk of diabetes in half. 2/3 of the adults.
In half?
In half. 2/3 of adults, the American
Are y'all
adults
gonna get
are
moving?
considered obese. Your heart, 30 to 60 minutes a minute most days of the week, drastically lowers your risk of heart disease, and for your bones, 4 hours a week can reduce the risk of hip fractures by 43%.
And as women, especially with Breast Cancer Month, taking care of our bones and osteoporosis is really so important. So we really need to get moving because it affects so many different things.
And to go outside to get your vitamin D
Yes.
to strengthen your bones.
Outside.
Of course, it helps if you have a dog, too, because then you can just take the dog for a walk and you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
But don't start anything
Exactly.
you can't finish with the dog, because that dog will expect that walk every.
Yes, he does. He really
I know,
does.
but Auntie Sharon's dog, shout out to Shadow, not that he can hear us. But Shadow is a mess. With the Chronicles of Shadow, you should follow her on Facebook because the Chronicles of Shadow. It is so interesting. But my Auntie Sharon, through her I should say I don't want to say your experience, but through the cycle of breast cancer and the awareness that you give to other people, you've really gotten active and gotten out there. Can you kind of share with people how active that you've gotten compared to where you've been? Because you post your workouts and everything else, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, you can know something is good for you. You can have it in your mind that I need to eat right, I need to exercise, and I decided if I'm going to tell people how to eat right and how to exercise, then I have to do it myself and set the example. So in March, when I made 66, I decided, okay, this is the time I have to really do this right. I can't pussyfoot around and half do it. So that's when I decided to bite the bullet, and I hired a trainer. Simple as that. Because I found that I was going to the gym, but I wasn't getting results. So when I hired the trainer, he was able to do what needed to be done for my body type. And, of course, he also gave me the nutrition plan, which I knew the nutrition plan. I had the nutrition plan. I could teach the nutrition plan.
Right.
Doing the nutrition plan was something
It's a
different.
whole different story. Applying it. And speaking of trainers, we have Bashan Jordan from Tiger Rock NOLA in the studio with us, and he, loves to give us, I don't know if it's the good life or it's the pain life, but he's going to give us our exercise of the day because Auntie Sharon, he be killing me. Like, for real.
I understand.
But okay, Bashan, what is our exercise of the day?
All right, I'm going to stay
Please.
seated for this one.
Oh, thank you. We've been living a sedentary lifestyle. That's okay.
But, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But basically what you're going to do is, so you could do it from your chair. You could do it from the floor. But what you're doing is bringing your knees into your chest, okay? And you're just going to kick it in and out. It's called in and out. So you're just going to bring your knees to your chest.
Wait, hold up. Let me video you.
All right.
Okay, do that again.
All right. Knees to your chest. And he's going to push them out and back in. Out and back in.
Oh,
and
that's
back
not
in.
terrible.
You do it for a while, you'll feel it in a short bit, but it's a good workout. And for those who are sitting behind the desk all day, if you got a couple of minutes between phone calls or breaks or whatever you want to do, you can just take a quick 30 seconds or so, or I don't know, however much time you have, and knock a couple of those out, and you'll feel it. And it's a good core and ab workout for those who want to keep that tight stomach.
I was about to say that works out more than just your legs.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
your
most
core.
definitely. Yeah, your core, your legs. I mean, at the same time, and trying to hold yourself up, you got that upper body strength going on at the same time too. So, but it also works well on the floor. So if you don't feel comfortable in the chair, do it on the floor. Put your hands behind you.
So, Auntie
And,
Sharon, what do you think about that
and,
exercise? Can we do it this week?
That's really easy, and what I like is the fact that there are so many exercises that you can do
in
in
the
the
chair.
chair.
Yeah,
Right.
If
exactly.
people say they don't have time or they can't do it or it's too hard, and it's really unbelievable, but you can even do the triceps.
Yep, lift
in
your
the chair.
triceps.
Look at
There
Auntie
you go.
Sharon
I'm
going.
telling you.
Look
Shoot.
at that. I know. Look at her
Look at
muscles.
the muscles, boy. I tell you.
She don't look 66,
Oh,
y'all.
you gotta step your game
Y'all better
up.
watch out.
She's stunting on you.
Look, you see that? I
She's
come from
stunting
good
on you.
genes,
Wow.
though. I come from good genes.
And can you do burpees?
Oh.
Why
see.
you want to put me on Fun Street
Wow.
on a good life?
Wow.
I
see.
can if I try.
Try.
We know about the burpees.
I know. Unfortunately, Bashan's really loves them, and he likes to do them in all different varieties. They are not my favorite, but unfortunately, they are his.
Yes.
So,
I do what I call a modified burpee.
do you?
Yes.
Okay, give us the modified since you explain it to us.
The modified burpees I do on one of the benches, on one of the benches at the gym. I don't go all the way down to the floor.
Oh, okay.
And
And then I was able to lower by using the little, what do you call them?
the plyo boxes, the boxes.
The
you
boxes
jump- yes,
that
yeah.
you generally do
The
the
jumps,
aerobic
yeah.
exercises on. Well, he put that on the floor, and I was able to do some burpees from that position. So I can
Okay.
get lower.
So it's been a process for you.
Yes.
And you've been building your strength.
Definitely building up.
And that's what it's all about, y'all. It's about the good life. It's about starting somewhere and doing something to open your mind to living differently in the world. And this way, we're opening your bodies to living differently in the world. And with the stats that Doc Griggs gave us, we really want to be here for our children and our children's children so that we can all live the good life. They want to spend time with you. And, that's really what, life is all about. It's about, opening your mind to living differently in the world. So hopefully you have discovered how important it is to just get outside and take a walk, get your vitamin D. It will literally change your mind. And especially if you're having a rough day at work, you might want to get your mind right. It'll change your mood and it'll change you physically. So let's take those small steps to do that. We are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we are going to have the ladies of Cognitive Solutions in the studio with us because we are going to get our mind right. Mental health is such a big thing in our community, and unfortunately we don't like to talk about it sometimes, but it's those persons who are living in the dark that really need our help. So we're going to reach out to all of you, and hopefully somebody's listening, and maybe you can reach out to somebody else who needs your help. That's the good life. This is Eileen. This is Wellness Wednesday, and we'll be right back. Eleanor Security provides the good life. They make their mark in the security arena by providing excellent security services for more than 35 years and are licensed in more than 13 states. Eleanor Security's team comes with a wealth of experience from the military, law enforcement, and law enforcement training. Their personnel is comprised of more than 200 employees trained in video monitoring, special event services, convention services, armed and unarmed security guards, ticket takers, executive security, personal bodyguards, hall monitors, and critical infrastructure personnel that are TSA trained. Eleanor Security services are provided on a 24-hour basis and have expanded to the newest technology, including video monitoring. Find them on the web at www.lrsecurity.com or call them today at 504-943-3191. Again, that number is 504-943-3191. Live the good life with Eleanor Security today. Hello?
I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever.
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh from my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's ringletts.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Universal Printing in New Orleans East is the place to go for all of your digital printing needs. Universal Printing offers a wide range of printing services and promotional products. They handle everything from business cards to personalized prescription pads. They even print yard signs, banners, and vehicle magnets. Stop by Universal Printing at 9900 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East near Reed. Or give them a call at 504-244-1177. That's 504-244-1177. Come on down to Universal Printing and let the experts handle all of your printing, marketing, and promotional needs so you don't have to.
You're on the move and so is your bank. Liberty Bank now offers you the power to manage your money from the palm of your hand with mobile banking with Liberty Bank. Whether you need to check balances, transfer money, or view transactions, mobile banking at Liberty Bank allows convenient and secure access to your money. Enroll today at www.libertybank.net and download our mobile app. You can mobile bank at Liberty Bank to keep the power in your hands. Liberty Bank. There's freedom here. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over.
Good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday, and Doc Griggs really needs this segment because we are about to get
She's showing off because her auntie here. That's what it is.
into mental health. And yes, I would like to welcome my special co-host for today, my auntie Sharon, because she is a survivor, and we are kind of rolling into Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We were just discussing how WBOK has a team, and we are going to make strides against breast cancer on Saturday, October 10th, 2015. We're going to get more into that in our last segment, so make sure you stay tuned because my auntie Sharon is really kind of going to give her story and let us understand, what women go through with their fight with breast cancer, and men, I should say, and so we can all live the good life with opening our minds to living differently in the world so that we can, attain some of this knowledge. But first, we have to get our minds right. And so we have two wonderful ladies here with Cognitive Solutions. They are sisters. I have Talis Ancalade Medina and Dr. Ariel Mitchell. So welcome, ladies, to The Good Life. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Yes, thank you for having us. Well, number one, with everything that's kind of going on in the city, and I should actually say not just the city, the nation and the world, everybody has, in my opinion, kind of like lost their minds. And so last month, the city of New Orleans, they had 24 NOPD officers that were recognized for completing a 40-hour special crisis intervention training. I have 40 hours. But anyway, y'all looking like 40 hours. What you going to do? Okay, but look, this is a good life. We're going to be positive. So 20% of the force is slated to receive the training under a federal consent decree that the department is operating under. And the goal is to de-escalate situations involving mental health issues. And that really isn't the focus of our segment right now, but I just kind of want to let you know how important it is and what a struggle it is in our community. Because when we think about all of the gun violence and a lot of the shootings, it kind of reaches back to someone having some sort of mental health issue and people maybe not paying attention to the early signs that people have. So I'm like, we need to open our minds, and if someone in your family is having an issue, reach out to them. If they're, being a little distant, or they're having, they're dealing with stress and, they're just starting to act a little funny, we need to stop ignoring the signs. If your child breaks their arm, you're taking them to the doctor. But if something happens with their mind, you brushed under the rug. Exactly. And to me, it may be even something more important than the broken arm, because it's the broken arm will eventually heal. But if you don't take care of their mind, it affects every aspect of their lives, literally.
Exactly, yes. Exactly.
So can you all kind of break down the importance of, really honing in on, mental health issues?
Absolutely. So we talk a lot about the difference between a disease of the body and a disease of the mind. And just like you said, if someone breaks their arm, those myths where people say, oh, well, what happens in our house stays in our house, you're going to bring little Timmy to the doctor if he breaks his arm.
Right.
Because society sees that. We all see that, and that's visual. Whereas if something is going on internally in the mind with little Timmy, you may say, well, we'll deal with it at home, but you're not trained to deal with those things. And just like you said, things are happening as adults, but we don't realize a lot of it starts in adolescence. You have 1 in every 4 to 5 adolescent that meets the criteria over their lifetime for a mental illness. And when you think about that, yes, 1 out of 4 and 5.
That's what happened to Doc Riggs. All right.
She gonna keep going?
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna start talking about that brown slushy water she drinking.
This is a peanut butter protein shake. So
Who drink peanut butter?
Peanut butter chocolate.
Who drink peanut butter?
She's getting her body right, so her mind will be
exactly.
right.
See,
I thought you said you got to start with the mind first. That's what she said.
And that's what's wrong with his mind. That's why we're going left.
Exactly. Mind-body connection.
Mental health is important at every stage of life. Mm-hmm. Your stages.
As long as you know that.
And even with the really small ones, because something that we do at Cognitive Solutions is play therapy. You wouldn't believe what you can learn from children just watching them play. Because that's their language. Yes. Have you ever paid attention to any of your nieces or nephews when they're playing school? You know exactly how the teacher behaves by watching how your niece or nephew behaves.
Y'all, we gonna play school.
Oh, exactly.
Well, and more importantly, how they internalize how the teacher behaves, right? So there's this element of this is what I see around me, but then there's the element of this is how I'm internalizing it, and that gets acted out and really given to the therapist during play. We learn those things. That's our conversation with children in play therapy.
And it's funny that you say this because I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was talking about that she had a mutual friend who had to change her daughter, who was a kindergartner, from school. And I was like, well, how did you know? And she said the child was having wedding problems. And they moved her to a new school, and she doesn't have those problems. But she was afraid of her teacher. Mm-hmm. Her teacher was very... I don't want to go left or go tell her what school it was, but her teacher was rare.
See, she talking about going left? You see that?
No, but, the child was having, issues, and it was mental, and nobody was paying attention to it, and they just thought that she was having, wedding issues as a kindergartner, that she wasn't, progressing developmentally. And it really had nothing to do with that. She was basically being mentally traumatized by the teacher.
Yes, and a lot of times with mental issues, they'll manifest physically. We may not realize that, but sometimes, the stomach aches, I'm having nightmares, or the bedwetting, all of that may stem from something that's mental.
And you're talking physically, it goes deeper than that. I mean, I don't know, you must follow me on Facebook or something. Because one of my posts that I put up yesterday was talking about, there was a study came out in the American College of Cardiology linking childhood stress to increased risk for diabetes and heart disease in adulthood.
Wow.
Yep. You know why, Eileen? Yes, you do.
Tell me.
Childhood stress. What are our stress hormones?
Cortisol and epinephrine.
Yes, cortisol gives you.
See, I pay attention.
Mentally, cortisol gives you the mental, the temporary stupids. When you're in a class, you're in a big group of people. Okay, what's your name? You're like, that is a cortisol moment. So if you start as a child living in stress soup of cortisol and epinephrine, your heart disease will begin earlier. The stress on your pancreas, dealing with all that sugar and that whole glucose insulin pathway can start to at a much earlier age. But more importantly, once you start to internalize things, I mean, when you act out the first time as a kid and somebody looks at you and says, "Oh, you crazy," you don't act out anymore. And holding it in and bottling it up, it'll change the way that they play and the way that they interact with the world.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to pay attention to children who bite their nails.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Pull their eyelashes, pull their hair out.
So what are some symptoms?
Bully.
I know we're kind of focusing on children, but adults, we do the same thing. We're just big kids.
You're bullying me all the time. You saw that.
What are some symptoms that we should pay attention to that we can be like, okay, well maybe that's something I should really start focusing in on?
So a few of those things are just really drastic changes in personality and behavior, right? Eating too much or eating too little, sleeping too much or sleeping too little. So when you look at just the general functioning of a person, whether it's a child or an adult, and when you have drastic changes in that behavior, and like you said, some things like biting nails, that could be an anxious behavior, shaking, things like that.
Drinking,
absolutely.
Drinking, smoking, using drugs, shopping. Yes, shopping. About like severe mood swings.
Absolutely.
Because some people are generally happy people, and then you just notice that they're not happy.
All of a sudden, things have changed, right? Those people who were happy, they're not so happy anymore. Or those people who just kind of an even-keeled personality, now all of a sudden they're either bouncing off the walls or I don't want to be bothered with anyone. So those drastic changes.
Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered.
What about the association with stressful events? And I can speak very candidly and honestly. Okay, we talk about Katrina going through it the first time. That whole Katrina 10, woe me out. When I say woe me out, all those behaviors you're talking about, the biting of the nails, the staying out late at night, the eating late at night, just having to revisit and relive through all that, right?
Yeah, the re-traumatization.
Yes.
We are here on Wellness Wednesday with Doc Griggs, my special co-host, my Auntie Sharon.
Did she call me special?
No, I called my Auntie Sharon special because she is special. And we are here with Cognitive Solutions, Talis Enclave Medina, and Dr. Ariel Mitchell, and we are discussing mental health. And we are opening the lines to Alfred. Alfred, welcome to The Good Life on Wellness Wednesday.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
What you're discussing right now, I just wanted to chime in on this because this happened in my household back in 2006, right after the storm.
Sure.
I'm not going to mention the name of the school. What I'm going to just do is this. My child at the time was 5 years old, and he was coming back to the trailer. His behavior at home, he began holding his stomach, rocking back and forth. My wife was bringing him to school. And at first, in the first few days, I just made light of it. Anyway, cut to the chase. I decided to start bringing him to school, and I noticed when he was in the van with me, he would be laughing and singing, but when he got out of the van, I noticed how his body stiffened up. Mm-hmm. After some investigation, I just basically pulled my son out of that school. Now, the school had a whole bunch of people. They wanted to have a meeting, and I'm going to try to make this real quick. Mm-hmm. I went to he was at another school being evaluated. At the same time, I was facing in front of, it must have been, and this is no exaggeration, 15 people. And the teacher had a stack of papers. I don't know what all this was about. Mm-hmm. I diplomatically said this. This is not an indictment on the school or the teacher, blah, 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 blah. But my child apparently is not functioning conducive to your ways in your school. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say what you're doing to him. I'm going to say this. He is now functioning at another school where it's conducive to his education. Right. I'm going to pull him out of here and do whatever you're doing, but it won't be done to my child. And that's how I handled it.
Right. And you really have to pay attention to your children.
Yes. Because I knew when he was rocking back and forth, and maybe the doctor can mention that. I don't know what's going on there, but something had my child rocking back and forth, holding his gut at home.
Oh, my goodness.
It was just somatization. Doc talked about it earlier, a minute ago, when she said that a lot of times, our mental and emotional issues will manifest in physical symptoms. I mean, that's his thing. It's called a tic. It's called his tic, that rock, that sometimes people tap their fingers or they bite. It's a tic. It's a neurologic thing.
Okay, wow. but parents need to pay attention to these little behaviors. I did something about it. My son's doing very well now. He's 14. And, hey, I just wanted to chime in on that, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alfred. I'm going to have the ladies of Cognitive Solutions respond to you. Go ahead, ladies.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, but first of all, I want to applaud you for advocating for your child, because that is our first job as parents, to advocate for our children. Secondly, I also applaud you for noticing and paying attention to his behaviors and how he's changed, and being proactive and going in and talking to the teachers and the professionals at the school in order to make the situation better for your child.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely. So when you look at those small signs and symptoms, and what we look at, and some people think, oh, well, these are just small things, right? My child is changing when it's time to go to school. A lot of times people will assume other things, like, oh, they just don't want to go to school. Right. Or, maybe they're just not wanting to leave home. But a lot of times it goes deeper than that. And when you look at the average age, children start displaying symptoms of anxiety as early as 6 years old. And those things start to manifest. And so if those things go untreated, or in this man's situation where he was able to notice that and do the things needed for his child to be successful, if that was not the case, we only know where he would be right now, right? How that would have manifested in his life, and how he would be experiencing those symptoms of anxiety or feelings of helplessness and not being able to advocate for himself at this period in his life. So.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Alfred, for your call. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate your information. That was so helpful, because just as the ladies of Cognitive Solutions said, we really need to pay attention to our children, and also we need to pay attention to our family members. That's the good life, taking care of others. Go ahead, Auntie Sharon.
I remember shortly after Katrina, I had a physician who was my regular physician, and I went to her, and she noticed that I looked different, and she recommended that I go see a behavioral therapist. And what she noticed was that I was not dressed as I used to dress. I think my hair was not as well kept as I had kept it in the past. And I really was grateful that she even noticed that, because a lot of physicians, I'm sure Doc Griggs would have noticed it too, but many physicians don't pay that kind of attention. And she sent me to therapy, and I was in therapy about a year after Katrina and was put on medication. I had never had that before.
Right.
And it really made a difference, and it was post-Katrina.
Absolutely.
Trauma.
And what I love about what you said is sometimes it's a little thing. Some people who always, keep their hair together, or always have their nails done, or always, have their clothes on point. It may start with the little things like that, because you're just physically exhausted and mentally exhausted, and you're not able just to keep up with some things like that.
So
go ahead, Doc Ritz.
Don't shout, and don't. Yes, no cheers, no applause, but I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about the stigma in the African American community, in particular, with needing help with mental illness. The reason people have these mental breakdowns. I've had a couple of friends commit suicide, and all of us were upset because we felt like we failed as friends because they didn't feel like they could come out and say, there's nothing wrong with needing a little help every now and then, someone to talk to. I mean, I said it. That's it. That is.
Exactly. So I want to ask Dr. Ariel Mitchell and Tylis Enclade Medina. And she has all these letters behind her name, LPC, NNC, all those kind of things of cognitive solutions. I just want to ask you, how do you see that stigma being relayed in our community?
Oh, absolutely. People make the comments of, like you said, what happens in our house stays in our house. We don't talk to people outside of our home to deal with our personal issues, right? So we have all of these myths that are prevalent within our community, but what happens is the individual person internalize those stigmas, and they say, well, what does that mean for me? So if we don't talk to people outside of our household and I am choosing to, am I weak? You know, can I not handle? Am I crazy? Am I not able to handle my own problems? So we have the societal stigma, and then we have the, the individual stigma and how we internalize that. And that keeps a lot of people from seeking the treatment and help that they need.
So a part of our job as counselors is to basically try to advocate for people and try to change the societal norms. So going to counseling is not, you're not crazy if you go see counseling. And you don't have to be severely depressed or having emotional issues in order to go see a counselor. It could be something as simple, just a life transition. Maybe you're going through a divorce, you move to a new town, and you don't know anyone.
That's true.
Yes, you need some help.
Especially after Katrina, a lot of people move.
Exactly. Yes.
All anxiety provoking.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, guess what, ladies? You just don't know, but y'all are reeled in because y'all going to be regulars on WBOK. Because I think this is a conversation that we really need to have. And so many of us, just like Dr. Briggs said, there's a stigma, and there shouldn't be, because we all go through life transitions. I mean, change is inevitable, and we need to embrace it. And, I mean, that's the good life. So I want to thank the ladies of Cognitive Solutions. And if someone wanted to get in or reach out to you because they need help, give us your telephone number so that they can do so.
Absolutely. You can reach us at 504-906-5457.
Give us that number one more time if they were slow on the ball.
No problem. Cognitive Solutions at 504-906-5457.
I'm glad y'all going to be here regularly because Eileen need to get her mind right.
I am not afraid to say that I need help.
And you know what she said when she said say the number again in case they were slow? She looked at me.
We're going to have to host an intervention up here.
Between the two of us, we have lost it because cognitively we need a solution between the two of us. So make sure you reach out to these ladies, 504-906-5457. And we get back, we are going to really, zone in on my Auntie Sharon, and then we're going to finish this fight against breast cancer because we are going to make a difference.
Y'all saw she looked at me and said fight.
I did. This is the good life. Stay tuned.
Hello, WBOK listeners. This is Chuck Perkins, your Uptown Renaissance man. Join me every Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon for the Midday Mashup. It's where we discuss everything from politics to poetry. Remember, the Midday Mashups every Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. until noon on WBOK 1230 a.m., where it's real talk for real times.
New Orleans Masters of Groove, the Funky Meters, will team up with the legendary Alan Toussaint, Walter Wolfman Washington, and New Orleans' own Queen of Soul, Irma Thomas, at the deliciously entertaining Crescent City Blues and Barbecue Festival, October 16th through 18th at Lafayette Square. This free festival is family-friendly and is powered, produced, and presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation. This very unique blues festival will include some of the best art exhibits and barbecue in the South with more than 40 local vendors. Vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options are available, as well as bread pudding and peach cobbler for dessert. If you're hungry for great music, food, and fun, make sure that you visit us on the web at jazzandheritage.org for a scheduled lineup of all artists performing at the 10th Annual Crescent City Blues and Barbecue Festival to be held in Lafayette Square, October 16th through 18th.
Hello? I need help. My hair is a mess and my man texts me telling me to be ready for 8. He has a surprise. What am I going to do? My stylist takes forever. I
I got you. Call Ringlet Salon. I just left there.
Where?
Ringlet Salon. They took me within minutes and had me in and out in no time. Very professional, and I scheduled online at ringlets.com.
For real?
Girl, for real.
Does Ringlet Salon hook up your roots?
Looks like I got a perm, and you know I'm anti-chemicals. Ringlet Salon has my hair soft and bouncy. I'm getting the Brazilian Blowout Express next week. It eliminates frizz for 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Okay, I'm all about Ringlet Salon. Where are they located?
Ringlets has 2 locations, one at 4712 Paris Avenue and one in the Hilton Hotel on the river. That location validates parking for 4 hours and is open on Sunday.
Perfect for a working woman like me. That's all I needed to know. I'm going to be fresh for my man.
You will if you schedule your appointment at ringlets.com. That's RINGLETTS.com.
Bye. Go and make my appointment with Ringlet Salon now.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
If you had a hammer, would you hit yourself in the head with it? Or would you use it to build something? In this year's race for governor, you do have a hammer. It's your vote. The 3 Republicans running help Bobby Jindal hurt our families. Voting for Scott Angel, David Vitter, or Jay Darden would be like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer. The Republican candidates supported Bobby Jindal while he attacked and closed our charity hospitals and denied health care to tens and thousands of working families. Fight back by voting for Democrat John Bell Edwards. Edwards lives his Christian values. In the legislature, John Bell Edwards stood up for public schools and to protect our charity hospitals. Election day is Saturday, October 24th. Early vote starts October 10th. Use your vote like a hammer to put Bobby Jindal in his place by voting for John Bell Edwards for governor. Paid for by Louisiana Families First. Not paid for or authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
You're on the move, and so is your bank. Liberty Bank now offers you the power to manage your money from the palm of your hand with mobile banking with Liberty Bank. Whether you need to check balances, transfer money, or view transactions, mobile banking at Liberty Bank allows convenient and secure access to your money. Enroll today at www.libertybank.net and download our mobile app. You can mobile bank at Liberty Bank to keep the power in your hands. Liberty Bank. There's freedom here. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
WBOK 1230 AM, the People's Station.
Welcome to the good life. Welcome to the good life.
The wait is over. The wait is officially over. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Wellness Wednesday. We have had a fabulous show for you today. We have talked about how important it is to get out there and walk because the WBOK family is going to be making strides against breast cancer on Saturday, October 10th. So make sure you're out there at Champion Square to walk with us because we're going to open your minds to living differently in the world. We're going to get checked, get fit, get moving, as Doc Griggs would say. And we just finished a lively discussions with the ladies of cognitive, I cannot get that word out today. Cognitive Solutions, Talis Enclave Medina with all the letters behind her name, LPC and NC, and Dr. Ariel Mitchell. If you need some help, if you know someone who does, please use this number, 504-906-5655. 50457. That's 504-906-5457. And the ladies will be regulars, just because, sometimes there is such a stigma in our community. We really want to get rid of that stigma so we can all live the good life.
It's really it's starting to be that time of year where it's really needed. The holidays is when it gets really, really rough for a lot of folks, and we don't realize it. There's the stress eating. There's the stress hangovers. There's the stress everything that we associate with, family members, loved ones we've lost, things that happened over the year. You start to reflect, and so we all need as much help as we can get.
Not to mention the stress of spending the money, trying to spend money to buy gifts that people don't need.
Exactly, and
and money that you don't have.
Exactly, but speaking of spending money, look, I may want you to spend a little bit because I'm creating a world with more birthdays because my birthday is coming up November 1st. So. Wait, I'm creating a world more. That's kind of the American Cancer Society. But you see how I rolled into that? It's all good. And speaking of more birthdays.
Oh, baby, she tried. So just roll with it. We're going to roll with it. Yeah.
I have a special guest host today with me. Other than my favorite partner in health, Doc Griggs, and my favorite partner
Eileen, are
in
you stressed?
Pain. Michelle Jordan of Tiger Rock, NOLA. I have my aunt, Sharon Carter Sheridan. But on a real note, she was diagnosed in 1996 with breast cancer at the age of 47. And after her diagnosis, surgery and chemotherapy and radiation, her outlook on life changed. So she is here with us today to share her story because tomorrow begins Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So what better way to, begin this month with having, my favorite, well, yeah, I won't say that.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
Everybody knows now. Sorry, Auntie Maud.
All right. Look, Pat's listening. My bad. So, Auntie Sharon, give us a little bit of your story.
Well, speaking of birthdays, I consider September the 6th my birthday, my post-cancer birthday. So I just celebrated a 19th birthday.
19 years.
I call it 19th year my 19th survivorversary. In 1996, I was diagnosed, as Eileen said. And what was difficult about the diagnosis was the fact that the month before, my younger brother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And I really did not want to tell anybody that I, number 6 in the family, had the cancer diagnosis because I had a 13-year-old sister who was diagnosed with uterine cancer in 1951. And then I had my oldest brother died of lung cancer when he was only 37. Then my dad died from colon cancer. He was only 61. My mother died from lung cancer and colon cancer. She was 71. So now that made number 5 and number 6 in our family out of a family of 10. And as Dr. Griggs with the statistics, 6 out of 10 is not a good number. No. So I was about to take my son Carter to college, and I did not want to tell anybody. I did not want to ruin that trip for him because I wanted that to be, a happy trip, which is supposed to be when you're going to college. So we packed up in the van, and I took him to college, and I was having pains in my breast. Again, I already knew about the diagnosis, but I didn't say anything. So when we got back home, after dropping him off to college, I went in the hospital and had the surgery. And it was really strange because I was in the hospital on that Friday, and lo and behold, Carter shows up at the hospital from Florida. He went to school at Florida A&M. What happened was he decided to come home that weekend, and he went home, and I wasn't home, and he went to my sister's house, and my sister happened to be home from the hospital, and he wanted to know, well, where's my mother? And my sister had to tell him that I was in a hospital and had cancer surgery. And I just said it was God that sent him home to be home that particular weekend because it was not planned at all. But as I sat in the auditorium for the freshman orientation, all I could pray for was to be able to be there in 5 years for him to graduate because he was in a 5-year program. And that's all I wanted. I just asked for 5 years, and I got 19. And in addition to that, I got to see him coach the Saints. I got to see him go to the Super Bowl. And I got to see a granddaughter. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, and now there's another one on the way. And it was a year after my daughter got married. So it was the first time I was really home alone because she had gone, and then he had gone to college. And then here I am at home with a breast cancer diagnosis. But anyway, fast forward, I'm here. It's 19
no, but that's
years.
so many people's story. You know, that's really important that people hear that.
So, Ms. Sharon, so this is, I don't know how many years we've done this. So this is not, Eileen, this is new to you. She was my auntie. We didn't know we were cousins. But,
Right. We adopt everybody, so you're adopted.
Every time she comes and tells that story, my allergies start acting. I don't know what it is about it. My eyes start watering because it's, it's a special story. So I can only imagine what it's for you and the family to learn that, knowing that you hid it for so long.
I did. I wanted everybody to have a good time, and I guess that's the way I was. And the other thing was, I even went to the Democratic Convention that summer because, life has to go on. I had things to do. I couldn't be bothered with breast cancer. You are not going to let breast cancer slow your roll.
That's Everybody got time for that.
Right.
Anybody got time for that, exactly.
I'll do a biopsy surgery later, But yes, I did hold on to that because I had to go see Bill Clinton get nominated. And I had to go take my son to college.
She had things to do. And speaking
but
of
I did
things
lose,
to do, right?
but it's interesting because a lot of women don't like to talk about it, but I've talked about it for 19 years because I think it's so important. And again, because of the family history with all the cancers in my family. And sometimes I wonder, well, why am I still here? Because in 2011, I lost my oldest sister to leukemia. So that meant number 7 in the family with cancer. So that's why I walk. That's why I work with the American Cancer Society. That's why I try to raise funds. I try to raise awareness because with all the research that has been done, there really has been a lot of progress. Even since I've been diagnosed, ladies don't have to go through what I went through as far as the lumpectomy, the radiation, the chemotherapy, having the lymph nodes removed. There's much more. The technology has increased so much with diagnosis and treatment.
So, Doc Griggs, how important is it for there to be early diagnosis?
Prevention is the cure. There are several. I know of 2. Ruthie Fertel Clinic, the South Broad community. They have vouchers for free mammograms. Breast cancer is much like colorectal cancer. Like any cancer, the sooner you find it, the sooner they can get rid of it. The average tumor in the colon, from a polyp in the colon, it takes 8 years for that polyp to become a tumor.
Oh, wow.
So imagine if you find it early, it can take it out.
Wow.
Breast cancer, if you're able to find it early, and the big problem that you hear ladies, I beat up on the dudes, I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, all that jujitsu, I'm going to bring a stick, I'm going to be ready for you. But I usually wait till November to beat up on the guys. But ladies, as I've taken this walk with Ms. Sharon over the years, I've listened to the complaints. They stay away from the mammograms. Oh, it's painful. Oh, it hurts. Well, now the excuse isn't there because they have the open ones now, and a little bit of pain right now.
Cancer hurts more than a mammogram.
Exactly. Yeah. To deal with a little discomfort right now, to avoid the pain that you're going to cause your family and to yourself later, is nothing. It worked. I'm still choked up, so let me get myself together. Ms. Sharon messed me up every time.
But you know what? It's funny, and I don't want to say this for everyone because everyone has a different situation. They may find it at a different stage. But if you listen to her story, she never gave up, and she continued. And I think that's one of the things that's important with, we were talking about mental health, but keeping her mind right through the process. She never had that give up attitude. She was like, I'm going to live and I'm going to continue to do these things as I go through my treatments, but I'm going to live.
Ask her what she's doing now.
Well, you have to stay positive because I'll just say this before I answer Dr. Riggs' question, but there was one lady in our support group who was always very negative. Why me? Why did I have to get this? And she was never positive about anything in our group meetings. And our group meetings are usually very fun and upbeat, and we talk about everything. We don't just talk about breast cancer. But this particular lady just harped on the fact that she had cancer. Well, unfortunately, she did not live.
Wow.
And I truly believe your attitude has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to answer Dr. Griggs' question.
Here it comes.
What does she do?
One thing that I do, I enjoy life. My mother enjoyed life to the fullest, and she loved to dance, and I guess I got the love to dance gene.
You think?
I got the love to dance gene. I just didn't get the rhythm.
No, you didn't.
So I now am a dancer with the Pelican Senior Dance Team, and I've been doing that for the last 7 years or so.
Y'all have got to check her out. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that is one of the fun things I like to do, other than volunteering with the Cancer Society and raising money and trying to find a cure for breast cancer.
So how can we get involved in the fight against breast cancer? And I hate to say fight because, I like Your words and your thoughts are so important, but that's, their tagline, so go with it. But how are we going to cure cancer? I'm about the cure for cancer.
To cure cancer, it really takes a lot of money, unfortunately, because it takes research. The American Cancer Society has funded so many researchers through the years. And as a matter of fact, our researchers have found HER2, our researchers found Gardasil, and several other major drugs. Herceptin, which is a drug that breast cancer patients use to prevent recurrence. And it takes money for these researchers. These doctors are in those labs 24/7 practically, trying to find a cure. So register for the walk. You can go to www.makingstrideswalk.org/New Orleans, LA, or just www.cancer.org. Look for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer in New Orleans, and you'll be taken to the link. And if you know anybody who's walking in the walk, send them a check. Send Eileen a check, send Dr. Griggs a check, send WBOK a check, send checks. It takes money.
Absolutely. So we are going to wrap up the show today, but I will be putting all of this information on our social media sites, and I'm sure Doc Griggs will be doing the same thing. So the Good Life Radio Show are being Eileen C., Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Go ahead, Doc Griggs.
You can actually catch the three of us tomorrow on my show from 1 to 2 here at WBOK. We're going to have Miss Sharon back, and I'm just gonna cry again, y'all. It'll
be happy tears.
It always is happy tears because she's here. She bails me out every year at the Bayou Classic when I start getting a little bit off beat. But it's a great story. I can't wait. So.
We will be living the good life tomorrow on Doc Rick Show. So make sure you tune in to WBOK 12:30 a.m. at 1.
From 1 to 2 o'clock.
1 to 2 o'clock. And if you're not near your radio, you can always listen to us online at WBOK1230am.com. This is The Good Life. This is Eileen, and I'm out.